Most men don't fail with women because they are unattractive. They fail because they read the wrong signs. They listen to words and ignore behavior. They chase clarity instead of observing it. And by the time they realize the truth, they are already emotionally invested in the wrong direction. Women rarely say what they feel directly. Not because they are dishonest, but because emotion reveals itself before language ever catches up. If you know where to look, attraction is quiet. It hides in pauses, in tone shifts, in small decisions that seem insignificant, until you understand what they mean. This is not about manipulation. This is not about tricks. This is about seeing clearly, without hope, without fear, without ego. A man who understands these signals does not guess. He does not chase mixed messages. He watches behavior, then chooses with discipline. Because in Stoic love, clarity is more attractive than intensity. And self-respect always comes before desire. Welcome to the channel, Stoic Love Wisdom. This is where you will find valuable lessons and tips to help you build a truly lasting love. In today's video, we will explore 7 ways to understand women through small actions, with real stories and insight. Don't miss the advice that can change the way you perceive and live in love. You will definitely feel more comfortable when you find a quiet place and put on your headphones. Let yourself relax and be ready to receive the positive messages in today's video. Are you ready to start this journey? Let's start together. Way number 1. How she reacts when you go silent. Silence is not absence. Silence is information. Most men misunderstand this. They think silence is weakness, punishment, or a childish tactic. It's none of that, if you understand yourself while being silent. A man who goes silent without inner stability is anxious. A man who goes silent with self-control is observant. And women feel that difference immediately. When you stop talking, no texts, no chasing, no explaining, you remove stimulation. What remains is her raw interest level. That's where the truth shows itself. Here's what years of experience taught me. A woman who is emotionally invested will feel silence like pressure. A woman who is not invested will feel it like relief. That reaction alone tells you almost everything you need to know. If she is interested, silence creates movement. When a woman genuinely cares, your silence interrupts her emotional rhythm. She starts asking herself, did I say something wrong? Is he losing interest? Why isn't he reaching out? Not because she is insecure, but because emotional connection creates dependency on interaction. You don't disappear dramatically. You don't announce your absence. You simply return to your life. And that's when she moves. She sends a casual message. She shares something unnecessary. She invents a reason to reconnect. Not because she needs attention, but because connection seeks continuity. A woman who likes you does not tolerate emotional uncertainty easily. Your silence introduces uncertainty. And interest reacts. If she is not interested, silence creates nothing. Here is the part most men avoid facing. If your silence produces nothing, no curiosity, no checking in, no attempt to reconnect, then understand this calmly. She was not emotionally invested. No anger. No bitterness. No ego damage. Just clarity. Stoicism teaches us not to demand emotions from others, only to observe them. Her lack of reaction is not an insult, it is information. And information is power. Why silence works only when you are grounded. Silence fails when it is motivated by fear. If you go silent hoping she will miss you, you are still dependent. If you check your phone every minute, she feels it energetically, even without texting. If your silence is a test, it becomes manipulation. Women sense intention far better than men admit. Silence works only when it is a byproduct of self-respect, not strategy. The Stoic man does not withdraw to provoke. He withdraws because his life is already full. Purpose. Discipline. Direction. When silence comes from abundance, it feels calm. When silence comes from lack, it feels heavy. Women respond to the first. They ignore the second. What her reaction really reveals. Her response to your silence reveals three things. Her level of emotional attachment. Her tolerance for uncertainty. Whether she sees you as optional or significant. This is not about power. This is about alignment. A woman who reaches out during silence is not losing control. She is revealing interest. A woman who doesn't is not cold. She is simply elsewhere emotionally. The Stoic man does not chase either reaction. He accepts both. The hard truth men need to hear. Silence will not create attraction where none exists. It only reveals what already exists. Men often ask, should I stop texting her to make her miss me? Wrong question. The real question is, if I stop, will I still respect myself? Because the moment your silence becomes a tactic, you lose the very strength that makes it effective. Stoic conclusion. Silence is not a weapon. It is a mirror. It shows you who values your presence, who feels your absence, who was only enjoying attention. And once you see that clearly, you no longer need games. You move forward, quietly, firmly, without resentment. That is Stoic love. Way number 2, her eyes tell the truth before her words ever do. A man who understands women does not argue with what they say. He observes what they cannot consciously control. And nothing betrays inner emotion faster than the eyes. I learned this the hard way, by listening too much to words and ignoring what was happening right in front of me. Compliments can be rehearsed. Politeness can be faked. Even affection can be performed. But eye behavior is reflexive. It happens before thought. Before strategy. Before social masks. This is where truth leaks out. Sustained eye contact is not confidence, it is permission. When a woman holds eye contact slightly longer than necessary, she is not being polite. She is opening a channel. This is not a stare. This is not intimidation. It's a soft, unbroken attention. Her pupils relax. Her facial muscles ease. Her breathing subtly slows. This is the body saying, I feel safe enough to stay present with you. Attraction begins with safety, not excitement. The eyes confirm that safety before anything else follows. A woman who likes you stays with your gaze. The look away and return pattern. One of the most misunderstood signals men overlook is this. She looks at you. She looks away. Then she looks back. This is not shyness alone. It is regulation. She is feeling something and momentarily breaking the intensity, then re-entering it. If she were uninterested, she would not return. This pattern reveals internal conflict. Interest mixed with self-control. Stoic lesson, attraction often appears first as restraint, not pursuit. Eyes narrowing slightly equals emotional engagement. When a woman is emotionally engaged, her eyes subtly narrow, not in suspicion, but in focus. This happens when she listens closely. She reacts emotionally to what you say. She feels mentally stimulated. Her world narrows to the interaction. This is presence. A distracted woman has wide, roaming eyes. An engaged woman has contained vision. The Stoic man notices containment. The dead giveaway, micro-expressions around the eyes. You don't need to study psychology textbooks to see this. When a woman genuinely enjoys you, The skin around her eyes softens. Tiny creases appear when she smiles. Her smile reaches her eyes naturally. When interest is forced, the mouth smiles. The eyes remain unchanged. The eyes don't lie, but they do reveal effort. Effortless warmth means authentic attraction. Avoidance is also information. Here is where emotional maturity matters. If she avoids eye contact consistently, not briefly, but habitually, she is either uncomfortable or disengaged. Men often misinterpret this as, she's shy. She's mysterious. Sometimes. But not often. Persistent avoidance means emotional distance, low interest, or unresolved internal resistance. The Stoic response is not to push. It is to step back and recalibrate. Interest that must be forced is not interest worth pursuing. Why words confuse men and eyes do not. Women communicate relational safety through nonverbal cues first. Words come later. This is why men get trapped. She says she's busy, but she keeps looking at me. She says she's not ready, but her eyes soften around me. Words manage social outcomes. Eyes reveal emotional states. The Stoic man prioritizes states over statements. Your own eye discipline matters. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you cannot hold eye contact calmly, her nervous system will not relax around you. Looking away too quickly signals uncertainty, need for approval, internal instability. Staring too hard signals control, hunger, emotional pressure. The correct state is grounded attention. You are present, not demanding. Aware, not intense. Women mirror emotional regulation faster than men realize. Stoic conclusion. Eyes are not romantic symbols. They are emotional instruments. They reveal comfort, curiosity, resistance, desire. Before a woman touches you, she allows you into her attention. Before she commits emotionally, she stays with your gaze. If you learn to read that, quietly, without ego, you will stop guessing. And once you stop guessing, you stop chasing illusions. That is Stoic love. In love, sometimes we don't need too many promises, but just a little understanding and a heart that knows how to listen. It is the experiences, both happy and sad, that help us mature and know how to love more fully. Here, I want to contemplate those things with you, so that each step in the journey of love becomes more clear-headed and peaceful. If you feel that what I share is valuable, please click like to support this video. And if this is your first visit, please click subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss the next insightful perspectives on love. I also really want to hear from you. What do you like most about today's story? Leave a comment below, because who knows, your experience might be a great source of encouragement for someone else who is listening. And now, let's continue to explore what's waiting for you. Way number 3, she remembers the small things you thought didn't matter. Experience teaches you this slowly, usually after you've already misread it once. Men think attraction is loud. Women reveal it quietly. And one of the quietest, but most reliable, signals is what she remembers. Not the big things. Not the stories you repeated. But the small, almost careless details you never emphasized. Those are never remembered by accident. Memory is not about intelligence, it's about priority. Let's be clear about something men often misunderstand. Women don't remember details because they are naturally attentive. They remember details because attention follows emotional investment. The human brain is efficient. It discards what is irrelevant. It preserves what matters. So when a woman remembers something minor you said once, a preference, a habit, a discomfort. She is revealing where you sit in her mental hierarchy. Memory is proof of placement. What kind of details matter? Here's what I've seen repeatedly over the years. You mention, casually. You prefer coffee without sugar. You dislike crowded places. You wake up early even on weekends. You avoid certain topics. Days or weeks later, she references it naturally. Not dramatically. Not to impress you. Almost unconsciously. That's the key. When memory surfaces without effort, it means the information was integrated, not stored deliberately. You became part of her internal world. Why small details are more telling than big ones. Anyone can remember. Your job. Your hometown. Your age. Those are social facts. But small details require emotional encoding. The brain only encodes emotional data deeply. So when she remembers how you take your drink, what makes you uncomfortable, what calms you down, she wasn't just listening. She was absorbing. Stoic lesson. Attention is the currency of care. The difference between genuine memory and performance. Not all remembering is equal. Some women remember details to manage outcomes, to appear kind, attentive, or desirable. You can tell the difference. Performance looks like overemphasis. I remembered because I care energy. Seeking validation afterward. Genuine memory looks like casual reference. No announcement. No expectation of reward. She simply acts on the information. She orders something you like without asking. She avoids something you dislike without explaining. That's not strategy. That's integration. When she remembers emotional details. This is where it becomes serious. If she remembers what frustrates you, what you're sensitive about, what you avoid talking about, she has crossed from curiosity into emotional attunement. That means she is not just attracted. She is regulating her behavior around your inner state. People only do this for those who matter. When she forgets, and what that means. Stoicism demands honesty. If she consistently forgets things you've mentioned multiple times, preferences that affect interaction, boundaries you clearly stated, it's not because she's careless. It's because you are not central enough to be encoded. This is painful, but clean. The Stoic man does not argue with reality. He adjusts his investment accordingly. Why men should never test this deliberately. Some men try to plant details to see if she remembers. This is insecurity disguised as strategy. A grounded man does not test interest. He observes it. When you speak naturally and she remembers naturally, the signal is clean. Anything else becomes noise. Your role as a Stoic man. Here's the discipline most men miss. If she remembers your details, do not reward it with overreaction. No. Wow, you remembered that? That's crazy. That places you below the moment. Instead, acknowledge calmly, or not at all. Why? Because genuine connection does not need applause. You simply note it internally and move with clarity. Stoic conclusion. A woman who remembers your small details has already placed you somewhere meaningful. Not because she decided to, but because her attention did it for her. Memory reveals value. Value reveals priority. Priority reveals interest. No chasing required. No guessing necessary. Just observation, and self-respect. That is Stoic love. Way number 4, how she reacts when you mention other women. A man who has lived long enough learns this. Nothing reveals emotional attachment faster than comparison pressure. You don't need to flirt. You don't need to provoke. You simply observe what happens when another woman enters the conversation. Jealousy is not immaturity. It is attachment made visible. And it shows itself in subtle, deniable ways. Most women will never admit jealousy directly. Men expect jealousy to look dramatic. Raised voices. Accusations. Confrontation. That's rare. Adult women protect their image. They regulate emotion socially. So jealousy appears as curiosity, tone shifts, and control attempts, not confession. Stoic lesson. Watch behavior, not declarations. The innocent question that isn't innocent. You mention another woman casually. A coworker. An ex. A friend. If she asks, "Oh, what's she like? How do you know her? Are you close?" This is not neutral information gathering. This is position assessment. She is mapping her standing relative to the other woman. If there were no emotional stake, there would be no need to measure. Tone changes before words do. One of the clearest signals I've noticed over the years is vocal shift. Her voice may flatten, become sharper, slow down, sound more controlled. The content of her words stays polite. The tone does not. Emotion affects tone faster than language. A stoic man listens for how she speaks, not just what she says. Subtle comparison is a strong signal. She may begin to compare. "Oh, she's more outgoing than me. I'm not really into that kind of thing. I wouldn't handle that the same way." These are not random statements. She is positioning herself, either defensively or competitively. Competition only exists where value is perceived. Dismissal is also jealousy. Another common reaction is minimization. "She doesn't sound that interesting." That's pretty common. Anyone could do that. Disinterest does not comment. Attachment does. Dismissal is an attempt to reduce perceived threat. When there is no reaction at all. This part matters just as much. If she shows no curiosity, no tonal shift, no engagement, then emotionally, she is not invested. This does not mean she dislikes you. It means she has not attached. The Stoic response is calm acceptance, not escalation. Why you must never exploit this. Some men intentionally provoke jealousy to feel powerful. This is weakness disguised as control. Jealousy reveals attachment. But manufacturing it erodes trust. A man who needs to provoke emotion to feel valued is not centered. The Stoic man does not test affection. He notices it when it appears naturally. Your behavior during this moment matters. When she shows subtle jealousy, your response should be neutral. No reassurance speeches. No power games. No ego inflation. Why? Because overreacting teaches her that emotion controls you. You simply remain composed. Presence without performance builds respect. Stoic conclusion. Jealousy is not drama. It is attachment under pressure. It reveals emotional investment, perceived value, desire to maintain position. A woman who reacts emotionally to competition has already assigned you importance. You don't need to exploit that. You only need to observe it. Then decide, quietly, whether the investment is mutual. That is Stoic love. Way number 5, how she touches you, or doesn't pull away. Before words, before commitment, before intention. There is physical permission. Touch is not about sexuality first. It is about access. Every woman has invisible boundaries around her body. Only certain people are allowed inside them. And she grants that access long before she admits attraction, even to herself. Touch is a nervous system decision. When a woman allows touch, her nervous system has already decided. You are not a threat. You are emotionally acceptable. You belong in her personal space. This decision happens subconsciously. She doesn't think about allowing touch. Her body does it for her. Stoic lesson. The body speaks before the mind forms excuses. Accidental touch that isn't accidental. You notice it in small moments. Her hand brushes yours and stays a second longer. She adjusts your sleeve, collar, or watch. She leans in so contact happens naturally. These are not clumsy accidents. They are permission tests. She is observing how you respond. Whether you tense up. Whether you overreact. A grounded man remains calm. He neither grabs nor retreats. That calmness often leads to more contact. The importance of non-withdrawal. Here is something many men miss. The strongest signal is not that she touches you. It's that she doesn't pull away. When contact happens and she stays relaxed, keeps talking, maintains position. That is acceptance. Pulling away is reflexive. Staying is intentional. Touch without sexual agenda is the deep signal. If touch appears in moments that are casual, emotional, supportive, it means attraction has moved beyond curiosity. Touch during laughter is interest. Touch during seriousness is trust. Trust precedes intimacy. When she creates reasons for proximity. Another strong sign is proximity management. She sits closer than necessary. Chooses seats next to you. Angles her body toward yours. Touch becomes easy when space has already been reduced. Space is the first boundary. Touch is the second. What it means when she avoids touch. If she moves away from proximity. Adjusts position to avoid contact. Tenses when touched. Her nervous system is rejecting access. No amount of charm overrides that. The Stoic response is immediate restraint, not persistence. Respect increases attraction more than pressure ever could. Why overreaction kills attraction? Many men ruin this moment by reacting emotionally. They smile too hard. Comment on the touch. Escalate too fast. This signals hunger. Hunger destabilizes safety. A Stoic man treats touch as normal, not a reward. Your touch discipline matters. You never initiate touch to test interest. You respond to what is offered. This is control. Women trust men who respect boundaries instinctively. When you don't rush, she relaxes. When she relaxes, connection deepens. Stoic conclusion. Touch is not a move. It is a signal. It reveals comfort, safety, emotional openness. A woman who allows touch has already answered a question you didn't need to ask. Your job is not to accelerate. It is to remain steady. Steadiness is attractive. That is Stoic love. Love is actually like a mirror reflecting the inner self. When we are calm enough, we will realize that every challenge, every silence carries a valuable lesson. And that is what I want to convey through each story on this channel. If you feel that these shares bring value, please leave a like to support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe, because who knows, one day, just a small idea from these videos can change the way you look at love, at yourself. Let's continue with me, because there are many interesting things waiting for you to discover. Way number 6, she treats you differently than other men. Men often ask the wrong question. Does she like me? A more accurate question is, does she behave differently with me? Because attraction does not announce itself. It reorganizes behavior. Women are consistent with strangers. They are selective with those who matter. Difference is the signal, not niceness. Many men get confused because a woman is friendly. Friendliness means nothing. Difference means everything. Watch how she interacts with other men in the room. Male friends. Co-workers. Then compare it to how she treats you. Attraction creates deviation from baseline behavior. Subtle softening is the first change. When a woman is interested, her demeanor shifts slightly. Her voice softens. Her pace slows. Her expressions relax. This is not flirtation. It is nervous system alignment. She feels safer, calmer, more open around you. That softness is selective. Lowered defenses are a serious indicator. Around men she doesn't care about, she stays guarded. Humor as armor. Sharp boundaries. Neutral engagement. Around you, she may share small vulnerabilities. Speak more openly. Drop performative confidence. Defense drops only where trust exists. Trust does not come from attraction alone, but attraction accelerates it. She gives you access others don't have. This access can be emotional, sharing stress, fears, inner thoughts. Temporal, making time when she's busy. Behavioral, responding differently to your presence. If she explains herself to you but not others, seeks your opinion specifically, adjusts her behavior around you, you are no longer in the general category. You are singled out. Playfulness becomes targeted. Another clear shift is directed playfulness. She may tease you, but gently. Challenge you, but with warmth. Engage you, but not compete with you. Playfulness toward attraction is bonding. Playfulness toward others is entertainment. The tone tells you which one it is. When you are treated like everyone else. This must be said clearly. If she treats you exactly the same as other men. Same tone, same boundaries, same investment. Then emotionally, you are interchangeable. This is not a failure. It is feedback. The Stoic man adjusts without resentment. Why you must never ask for special treatment. Asking, why don't you treat me like you treat him? Destroys attraction instantly. Difference must be offered, not requested. Value cannot be negotiated. It is observed. Your role in maintaining the difference. If she treats you differently, do not exploit it. Do not become demanding. Do not assume entitlement. Difference continues only when met with calm leadership. Respect sustains access. Stoic conclusion. Attraction reveals itself not through words, but through patterns. When a woman treats you differently, she has already answered the question internally. Your task is not to rush the outcome. It is to remain grounded and discerning. Observe the difference. Honor it. Or walk away cleanly. That is Stoic love. Way number 7, she invests time, even when she is busy. People lie with words. They lie less with actions. They never lie with time. Time is the only resource that cannot be faked, stored, or recovered. When a woman gives you her time, especially when life is demanding, she is revealing priority. Not interest. Priority. And priority is deeper. Busy is a description, not a verdict. Every woman is busy. Work. Family. Social obligations. Mental load. Busy does not eliminate desire. It reveals structure. People rearrange structure around what matters. A woman who cares does not magically have more time. She reallocates it. Investment is measured in effort, not duration. This is where men get confused. It's not about how long you talk. It's about how intentionally she shows up. Signs of investment. She explains when she can't respond. She follows up later. She keeps continuity. A woman who doesn't care disappears and reappears without context. Context is effort. Effort means consideration. Consistency beats intensity. A woman who likes you may not text constantly. She may not call daily. But she is consistent. Consistency is stability. Stability is emotional safety. Inconsistency signals low priority or divided attention. The Stoic man watches patterns, not peaks. She makes space without being asked. One of the clearest signs of genuine interest is this. She adjusts without being prompted. She suggests alternative times. Reschedules instead of canceling. Finds small windows to connect. No drama. No apology performance. Just adaptation. That is investment. Explanations are a hidden signal. Here's something subtle but important. When a woman cares, she explains absence. Not because she owes you, but because she values the connection. Silence with explanation equals respect. Silence without explanation equals indifference. The difference matters. When you are an afterthought. If she replies only when convenient. Never initiates. Never adjusts. Then emotionally, you are optional. Again, no anger. No ego wounds. Just data. Stoicism is about accepting data without narrative. Why you should never demand time. Demanding time kills desire. Attraction flows toward freedom, not obligation. The Stoic man does not ask, "Why don't you make time for me?" He observes whether she does, and responds accordingly. Your own time discipline. Your time must also be valuable. If you are always available, her investment loses meaning. Mutual respect requires mutual structure. A centered man does not orbit. He invites, and allows response. Stoic conclusion. Time is the final proof. A woman who invests time has already made a decision internally, even if she hasn't spoken it yet. You don't chase that. You meet it with presence. And if the investment isn't there, you walk away cleanly. No bitterness. No persuasion. No collapse. That is Stoic love. Conclusion. Attraction was never meant to be decoded through obsession. It was meant to be observed through calm attention. Every sign you've heard in these 7 ways has one thing in common. They appear without force. Silence reveals interest. Eyes reveal comfort. Memory reveals priority. Jealousy reveals attachment. Touch reveals safety. Different treatment reveals value. Time reveals commitment. None of these require persuasion. None of them need manipulation. They surface naturally when a woman feels something real. The mistake most men make is not misreading women. It is overinvesting before clarity. Stoic love does not rush emotions. It waits for evidence. When a woman shows you these signs, you do not celebrate. You do not chase. You simply match the energy with stability. And when the signs are absent, you do not argue with reality. You do not explain your worth. You withdraw quietly and keep your dignity intact. This is not coldness. This is self-respect. A man who understands these signals stops needing reassurance. He stops guessing. He stops chasing what does not choose him. He becomes calm, not because he lacks desire, but because he values mutual interest over potential fantasy. Stoic love is not about winning a woman. It is about not losing yourself while paying attention. Read actions. Respect silence. Honor time. And remember this. If a woman truly wants you, you will never need to convince her. You will only need to recognize it. That is the quiet power of Stoic love. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. Hopefully the sharing about love and lessons from this video will help you have new thoughts and find empathy. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share with those around you. Each of us has our own stories about love, and I'm happy to explore them with you. See you in the next videos. Wishing you a wonderful day filled with love.